My name is Dr. Fuller. I would like to introduce you to the mathematical world around you. Welcome to this animation on how to compare whole numbers up to 1,000. Comparing numbers means deciding which number is greater, less than, or equal to the other number. We use mathematical symbols to show how numbers compare. First, let's understand what comparing numbers means. Comparing numbers is like deciding who's taller, heavier, or older. It's all about understanding the relationship between numbers. There are three symbols we use to compare numbers. The greater than symbol is used to show that one number is greater than another number. For example, this means that 10 is greater than 5. The less than symbol is used to show that one number is less than another number. For example, this means that 5 is less than 10. The equal symbol is used to show that two numbers are equal. For example, this means that 10 is the same as 10. There are several ways to compare numbers. Let's explore a few of them and see what comparing numbers means in the real world. One way to compare numbers is to use a physical representation, like a block or counting chip. We can line up the objects to see which is longer or if they are the same size. Which route to the park is shorter? The route that is 9 miles long is shorter than the route that is 12 miles long. We can use the less than symbol to show this. This method works really well for small values, but imagine if you had to draw a picture or line up physical objects when the numbers were over 500 or even 1,000,000. That would be a lot of work, so there are more efficient ways. Another way to compare whole numbers is to use a number line. A number line is a line with numbers placed along it in order. To compare two numbers on a number line, we look at which number is to the right of the other number. The number to the right is the greater number. Mike is a firefighter. It took his team 78 minutes to put out a fire on Monday and 51 minutes for a fire on Thursday. Which day took longer? To compare these two numbers, we can place them on a number line. The number that is to the left is the smaller number. The number that is to the right is the larger number. In this case, 78 is to the right of 51. Therefore, 78 is greater than 51. This means the Monday fire took longer to put out. By the way, if the two numbers are in the same place, then they are equal. A third way that is very efficient is to use place value. Dr. Jones is a veterinarian. He performs the same surgery on a cat, which costs $863, and on a dog, which costs $875. Which costs more? To use place value, we must compare the digits in each place value location to see if they are the same. We start with the location with the highest value, comparing each digit one at a time until we find a digit in one number greater than in the other. One way to do this is to line the numbers one on top of each other so their place values line up. Now we start with the digit in the position with the greatest value. In this example, the hundreds place is our greatest place value position. The cat and dog surgeries both have an 8 in the hundreds position. Since 8 is the same as 8, the digits are equal. We cannot determine which is greater yet. We move to the next smaller place value position and repeat the process. The cat surgery has a 6 in the tens position, while the dog surgery has a 7. 7 is greater than 6, which means 875 is larger than 863. We write this as 875 is greater than 863. This means the dog surgery costs more. While there are many ways to compare numbers, using place value is very efficient. Now let's see how these examples are used in real-world situations. In each example, I will only show how to compare using place value, though number lines and other representations will also get to a solution. Claudia, a police officer, wants to work at least 122 hours this month. She has worked 122 hours already. Has she worked enough hours? To solve this problem, we want to know which is greater, the number of hours she wants to work or the number of hours she has worked. Let's line up the numbers and start comparing. Starting with the greatest place value, we compare the hundreds position. Both numbers have a 1 in that position. They are the same, so we move to the next smaller position and repeat the process. Both numbers have the digit 2 in their tens position. 2 is the same as 2. Like before, we cannot determine which is greater because the values are the same. We move to the ones position to repeat the process. Both numbers have the digit 2 in the ones position. Since we have no more positions to compare and all of the digits in both numbers are the same, the numbers must be equal. We write this as 122 equals 122. This means Claudia has worked the number of hours she wanted to. Jake needs to cut 20 pieces of wood and 15 pieces of metal. Does he need to cut more wood or metal? First, line up the numbers so the place values match up. Our largest place value is in the tens position, so we begin there. 2 is larger than 1, so we already know our answer. Because the 2 is greater than the 1, we write 20 is greater than 15. Thus, Jake cuts more wood than metal. Imagine you work in sales. In the first quarter, you sold 545 units of products, and in the next quarter, you sold 548 units. Is the sales figure in the first quarter greater than, less than, or equal to the second quarter? Start by lining up the numbers 545 and 548. Then look for the greatest place value position. Next, start comparing. In the hundreds position, both numbers have a 5. They are the same, so we cannot tell which number is larger yet. Now we move to the tens position. Both numbers have the digit 4 in the tens position. These are also the same, so we move to the ones position. In the ones position, there is a 5 and an 8. Since 8 is larger than 5, we know that 548 is the bigger number. We can write this as 545 is less than 548. From this expression, we can see that the first quarter with 545 units was less than the second quarter with 548. Using place value allows us to only worry about one digit at a time. We look at the position from the greatest to the least to determine which number is greater. Once we find a pair of digits different from each other, we can stop comparing as we know our solution. Using a number line, drawing representations, or even using physical objects will provide a solution. These methods can be much less efficient than using place value. In my mathematical world, I have one little problem. I was looking at some Georgia sports teams. Help me understand how they performed in 2 recent years. For the 2022-2023 season, the Atlanta Hawks won 41 games and lost 41 games. Did they win more, lose more, or did their wins equal their losses? Young has played a career total of 353 games, while his teammate Murray played 394. Who played more games? Write this using a greater than, less than, or equal to symbol. The Atlanta Falcons had 465 total offensive plays in their 2022-2023 season. The New Orleans Saints had 494. Which team had more offensive plays? Running backs Robinson and Algier ran the ball 404 and 301 yards in the 2022-2023 season. Which player ran the ball more yards? The Atlanta Braves right field player Acuna played 159 games in the 2023 regular season. Third baseman Riley played 159 games during the same season. Who played more games? Riley had 117 runs during the 2023 regular season. His teammate, first baseman Olson, had 127 runs. Who had fewer runs? The Atlanta Braves shortstop Arcia was at bat 488 times during the 2023 regular season. Left fielder Rosario was at bat 478 times. Who was at bat more times? Penderson and D'Amato both play hockey for the Savannah Ghost Pirates. As forwards, Penderson made 138 shots during the 2022-2023 regular season, and D'Amato made 139 shots. Who made more shots? During the 2022-2023 regular season, the Savannah Ghost Pirates scored 207 points. On the other hand, the Tulsa Oilers scored 203 points. Which team scored more points? The Atlanta United Football Club's 2022 roster included Martinez, who played 25 games and scored 9 goals, Cisneros, who played 28 games and scored 7 goals, and Almada, who played 28 games and scored 6 goals. Which player played the most games? Of these 3 players, who scored the most goals? Diop and Westberg were goalkeepers during the 2022 season for the Atlanta United Football Club. Diop weighs 168 pounds and Westberg weighs 168 pounds. Use the greater than, less than, or equal to symbols to compare the 2 players' weights. Take a look and you will see a mathematical world around you filled with comparisons. Comparing whole numbers is an important skill to learn. It can help us solve everyday problems such as deciding which store has the best price on an item, which team has the most points in a game, or if we were paid enough. We can use drawings or a number line to compare whole numbers, but using place value is more efficient. Just like we can use a smiley face as a symbol to represent that we are happy, we use math symbols to show how numbers compare. Comparing numbers is a critical skill used every day, so be sure to practice.